Two. Well, hello, everybody, and we're here for the fourth session of Graphic 45 Fashion Forward. Hard to believe we've already completed, what, 18 cards, and going to do the last 6 tonight. And that's my landline phone ringing off with somebody telling me about my warranty, I'm sure, but I'll just let that go. So the very first card I wanted to show you was actually inspired by Carolyn, who's not able to join us tonight. She's out of town, but she showed it to me at our last session. It's called a pinwheel card. And I was just so intrigued about it that she sent me instructions, and I went online and looked at some other ones. And it's actually become my new favorite card. We're just about to post an announcement that Saturday is used to be National Card Making Day, and now I think they're calling it World Card Making Day. So T and I are doing some demos, and I'm going to be doing this one with our Scrap Your Stash concept, just showing how you can use little bits and pieces of some paper to make an adorable card. Other than just being a nice, you can see it's a 3D card, opens up this way. But the nicest thing about this is that it folds flat and it goes into a standard card size envelope. You can mix and match the sides however you wanted. I kind of kept the short sides all purple and used all those little tiny embellishments that came with this Graphic 45 collection. But you can see each little panel is different, and it allows you just to use up those little pretty pieces that you have. So I think the most important thing to remember is to really burnish your score lines so that everything lines up evenly. But this is really just a fun and really quick and easy card to put together. And that one we're calling the pinwheel card in your instructions. The second card for October was a belly band card. I hadn't done one of these in this collection yet, so I thought this was a good opportunity to do it. This slides off, and I'll just tell you a couple things about this. Depending on how thick your paper is, how much glue you use, don't try to just measure your belly band and hope that it fits. Score one side as the instructions tell you, and then place it around the finished card and get an idea where your next score is going to be. And then the closure is actually in the front underneath this panel where the two ends of the belly band are glued together, so that the back is clear without any ends on it, and you can just cover it with a single strip of paper. Now, we did use a lot of this paper for the cards, so the little pieces right here, I actually pieced together. So they are just showing here on the edges, and then they don't go all the way through. So if you need to do that, depending on what you have left, sometimes I'm making these cards with the same set of material that you get. So I might try something out and it doesn't quite work. So I'm trying to improvise with what's left. But this one then is, your fully self-contained belly band that goes on the card here. And the card here just has a little bit of interest on it with this little flap. And I sized the score lines so that this strip that's on your pattern paper is perfectly sized. So the flap is 1 1/4 inch and your strip is 1 inch. And remember, your instructions, each one should start with cut this off of both of your pattern paper sheets because you'll see that we tend to use them throughout. So this opens up using one of the journaling cards with the back side up because it just gives you a nice place to write. Made a gift card holder right here and oriented it to be vertical. Now with the gift card holders, you'll generally see that the instructions are calling for a 3 by 3.5 inch paper. If you end up with a smaller scrap, just make your score lines be 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch. And as long as you can get your gift card in, you'll be fine with that. So this is finished with the purple paper on the inside flap. The outside flap folds around, and there you have the card with the belly band on it. Going into November, some pretty colors with the yellow. And when I looked at what we had left with our solid patterned paper, had that sheet of black that hadn't used yet. I surprised myself because usually I would reach for the black first, but I saved this one. And originally I was going to do this card with the card base itself being done in the black paper, but it was just a little thin and it needed a little more contrast to it. So I did it on the cream again, but then did a black matte, the yellow, and you could have these stripes going either way since it's a square on the front. You'll notice that the black is also behind the 1 inch banner that we took off. And this is just the full size journaling card from the kit there with an extra little layer on it. And then inside, I left this one open, thinking this might be a card that you'd use to write a longer message on it. But certainly if that wasn't what you needed to do, you could put one of the other journaling cards in. You could add a gift card. But since the sentiment is November and it's thankful, I thought maybe it would be something that you were wanting to write a little more about. So this is just a very simple card. We've got that little fan fold right here that we've done in the past, and it just kind of added a nice little background for the little flowers that are here. The second card for November is a bookbind card, and it really just is a regular sized card, but it's scored an extra score, and then this is glued together. So if you look at the card here, you'll see that I've glued the spine together down 1 inch. So that gives you a place to put the border, and then just some nice little squares with your journaling card popped up. And then inside there's still room. This centers nicely to have a little spot to write, a place for a gift card, and then using just some of those little strips with the words on it kind of really made this a nice card. So this is one if you really have just some smaller scraps left, because you don't even need the 4 by 5 1/4 piece to cover the front. You can do it with a 4 by 4 square is what's the paper there. December had our slimline card, and this one again uses that border down the side here. And this time, just because I wanted to make sure I had enough of the pattern paper, this piece of pattern paper with the kind of the holly in it does not go all the way underneath the border. It's cut short, and then this overlaps it. So you can actually see here the overlap with the inked edges on it, the flowers. And then this one, I just wanted to show you that you can get a gift card holder even inside of a slimline card, a little spot to write here. And this one, of course, if you weren't going to put a gift card in it, you could just swap out another piece of paper and add some of the sentiments, but it gives you just the new slimline, which is still a very popular card size to make, the mini slimline with the gift card inside of it. And then the last card, I thought, why don't we use all the paper that's left over for December? So this card has the front fully covered with the pattern paper. I did this little strip here that has the black bling on it. I did cut in half so that I could extend it at the top and the bottom of the cut apart panel here, just to make it a little longer. And the flowers, as you can see, one is a full flower, just kind of fluff them up because they tend to stick together. And then one I pulled off 2 layers just to get that little bud there. But the feature of this card is the inside. So you end up with a gift card, since we had talked last time that this time of year, there's a lot of opportunities to stick a gift card in a card. But this little thing at the bottom is kind of a variation of what we've done with the double Z fold. You can see it's the full length of the card. So it is 8.5 inches long, and then just scored. And each one of these little pieces is, I believe, look at the instructions, but they should be 2 inches. And just something to keep in mind, it really isn't as apparent on this, but when you're cutting a pattern piece of paper that you're going to use consecutively, like inside here, start with the front piece. So start with your one that's 2 inches, and then at the next one's 3 inches, so that your words stay in order. We did that on one of the cards that I did for another kit. And I actually told you what words to cut between so that they stayed in place and you weren't trying to figure out what that word was supposed to be. So this, again, folds flat, even though it's a nice little detail when the card's standing up. And if you had some other little elements left on the paper, like maybe if you didn't put this enough in here, you'd want to cut that little person out and stick them here so that they're popped up. But there's just a lot of things that you could add to this. If you had a little tree or a little, some of the little words, it just gives you a lot of options, but this is just kind of the basic structure of that. So I hope when you look at your kit and you see that you do have some scraps left, you might be able to make a card or 2 or a tag or another one of those pinwheel cards using all the little bits and pieces that you have. So that's 24 cards using G45 fashion forward. I've not seen that they're having a similar type theme come out anytime soon, but I'll be watching for it and look for some more projects. So I thank you all for your participation and your interest in this and getting to know you and see some of the things that you're doing. And if you have any questions about the cards, you've got my email. Just drop me a line and I'll get back to you and help you get your cards finished. Thanks a lot. Let's